Hi, I'm Jupiter, and I'm currently through hiking the Florida Trail for the second time, 1,100 miles across Florida. And I thought I'd take a moment to kind of look at a little bit of the gear I'm carrying, because now that I'm doing it for the second time, a lot of stuff has changed, and I'm actually hiking this trail with my girlfriend. So we're kind of sharing a little bit of gear as well. So for this trail, I'm still using my Palante V2 backpack. I like that a lot. But let's take a peek at what I got just on my immediate person, what I keep close to me, because I certainly like having a lot of pockets and things like that. So I'm carrying a little fanny pack this time around, just have a lot of stuff accessible. I like things accessible. So my fanny pack, I got my little camera. This is a Nikon Coolpix S9900. It's got 30 times zoom, so I kind of wanted to do this. It's a little bit lighter than the other camera I have, but I was hoping I'd be able to zoom in on maybe more like interesting birds and cool features off in the distance. So camera, got some headphones, an extra Ziploc bag just in case it's gonna rain really hard. I want to protect my camera, so I keep that close. I'm still carrying my little tiny handheld flashlight. It's an O-light flashlight. It's just small, it's handheld. I like them because when night hiking I can hold it close to the ground and it elongates all the shadows in front of me, instead of when you're wearing a headlamp, everything in front of you just looks really flat. I feel like I can navigate where I'm walking at night a little better with this, and it's just super light as well. Small flashlight. Got my wallet, just a typical Ziploc bag with my Florida Trail Association member card and ID, credit card, debit card, all that good stuff. Carrying some sunglasses. These are actually polarized and extremely stylish. And just a little glasses case, and I have like a microfiber cloth for the glasses and also for my camera in here. So some glasses. Extra stylish. Like I'm about to put out some hot new rap album is what I was going for. And just a little mini Bic lighter, because this time around we're carrying a stove, and a Bic lighter is just like, as I found out on the Uinta Highline Trail, just super important for safety in case you get like wet and cold and whatever. So I don't know, I wanted to make fires since I'm hiking with someone else and we're cooking as well. So yep. So mostly the fanny pack just has like everything that I'm gonna probably use throughout the day, the glasses, the lighter towards the end of the day, stuff I don't really want to get lost in my pack. And then like in my pockets I'll have like my cell phone, or anything that's kind of like in transition. Say I take out my Mio, but I'm not going to be using it immediately, maybe I'll put it in my pocket and just kind of work towards using it. So in my shoulder strap pockets, again, I just love having everything up close where I can use it all the time. So the most important part of my gear list is a yo-yo for the Florida Trail. I just think it's a lot of fun to be playing with while out here. It keeps me moving, and a yo-yo is just an awesome piece of hiking gear. I'm carrying some chafe cream or squirrel's nut butter. This trip is less about just a sufferfest, which normally when I chafe, I only chafe for like a single day and then it like hardens up and I'm good to go. But for this time, I really wanted to carry like a couple things that would make everything, more comfortable and more bearable, since it's just not like me alone out here, as it usually is. And in my other pocket, I got my little tiny toothbrush. I like to have this up close just so I don't have to dig through my pack throughout the day to use it. Whenever I think about using it, I can just pop it out and use it. And as we're saying that, I feel like I should probably brush my teeth right after this, because why not? Toothpaste, of course, mini travel size. I'm carrying some hand sanitizer. you know, again, it's not just me alone. You know, I want to be a little bit cleaner. And then the other day, I lost my spoon. But I found a spoon on the trail. So, really nice. And super happy to have a spoon again. Now, for this hike, I'm carrying 2 1-liter water bottles. I just do the super cheap kind, since as we know, I don't filter any of my water, so I don't really need to have a water filter on there or anything like that. So super cheap, super lightweight. I like them. Last night was 27 degrees or 29 degrees with wind chills of 20, and today it hasn't even risen above 50, so you can see I'm wearing like warm weather clothing. Got these very stylish Patagonia gloves. Super stylish. And I'm still wearing this Kuyu jacket, Kuyu sweater, the fleece. I still really like it. It's got a hood, which, you know, I could take or leave the hood, but the one huge issue with it is there's no pockets. No pockets is a major downside for me. I love the pockets. Just been wearing some kind of short shorts, quick drying with pockets. Gotta have them, you know. And for this hike, instead of some like super small, super light fleece beanie, I actually went with the bright hunter orange Carhartt, just because here we are in this area, Apalachicola National Forest, and hunters are abound. So I didn't really want to get in their way on an accident. You know, I would like them to see me very well. As I also tied a little bit of orange flagging tape on my pack, which isn't really doing much, but maybe it'll do something. So I also have for this hike something a little bit different and a little bit special, is a small tenkara fishing rod. It's basically like a cane pole, but it extends out like 12 to 13 feet. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get some fishing in at some point, just catch and release, but haven't really taken the time to do that yet. But I'm really excited for it. I used to use this a lot outside of the job I was working. They had a nice little pond, and it was a lot of fun. So I thought the Florida Trail, we're surrounded by water. It would probably be fun out here too. And the fishing rod only weighs like 2 ounces, so that's pretty cool. Now my rain jacket is just the typical frog togs. I think I'm getting a little bit tired of the frog togs, just with like how careful you have to be with them. There's actually been quite a bit of like bushwhack on this trail so far, and I just worry about, you know, destroying it and then going into rain in the following days. So we'll see how much longer I wind up sticking with these. They're still fantastic, still super cheap. I get about maybe 2,000 miles out of one pair of frog togs, which is awesome, but at the very end of that, they're absolutely destroyed. So frog togs rain jacket, just cheap from Walmart. Then on the outside here, I've got charging cable for my phone and a 21,000 milliamp hour external battery with quick charge. I really like the size just because I don't really have to worry about battery. I can use gut hook as often as I want. I can listen to podcasts as often as I want. I can take as many pictures or as many videos as I want without really having to worry about electricity or battery power. You know, times are changing, and I feel like batteries are a really nice thing, especially with GPS and stuff like that being so prevalent. For this hike, I'm mostly using the Z-Packs carbon fiber tent stakes, but with a few like cheap Walmart brand stakes that are a bit thicker and a bit more shapely. You know, these are kind of shaped like an X. And I like having a little bit of variety in the tent stakes just in case I come across really soft ground or ground that's been super saturated with water. Then I can, you know, use the X-shaped tent stakes, the ones that are going to hold better, to hopefully, you know, fortify a certain edge of my tarp or a certain edge of my tent. Whereas the Z-Packs ones hold really well, but not quite as good. So it's nice to have a little variety in the tent stakes. I also have some Montbell wind pants. I've always loved the Montbell wind pants. They only weigh like an ounce. They're super expensive, but they really do the trick, you know. They keep me warm while moving, and they're just a nice little addition, especially since they are so very light. It has been so cold these past 2 days, I've thought maybe it would be better to have tights, but the wind pants have done me well. So inside here, I've just got my extra little Ditty bag. This is just like the stuff that I don't really need throughout the day, but I still want waterproofed, and you know, my bag is ripping. But a dual port charger with quick charge and all that stuff. I've got an extra charging cable for my camera and using it for my battery, so I can charge my phone and my battery at once, or my battery and my camera at once, or any variety of that. Got some extra little things of fishing line, you know, just maybe like 5-pound fishing line or something. Not really trying to catch anything big, just trying to have a little bit of fun. And a little plastic container with all of my flies, because the tenkara fishing rod is a fly fishing rod. And I've got about 30 flies just because I'm very used to getting them stuck in trees or something like that. So I thought I should have a few extra. Now I have a bunch of Leukotape strips that I've cut off, and I've put on these mailing strip things. You know, so it's basically like what you would find tape on. So Leukotape. I haven't had to use any. I've only had like one small blister, but you know, good to start out with, and I could probably get rid of this at this point. But just cutting off strips of Leukotape so I don't have just a giant roll to start out with. Got a little bag of Advil, always good to have in case you get hurt and you need to get to a town, you know, just to be able to quell the pain or get rid of the pain, just so you can get to a more serious place, you know, a hospital or urgent care thing, or if I have a headache, you know, which comes up occasionally. I have an extra camera battery. I have an extra memory card, 128 gigabytes. A couple extra AAA batteries for my flashlight, because you never know when that's going to die, and you certainly don't want it to. And I have a little safety pin, again, for potential blisters, but I haven't really had to deal with any blisters this hike, so probably get rid of it, but I'll probably still hold on to it just in case. And we're at camp now. For this hike, since I'm also hiking with Lotus, I went with the duplex. I've actually had this for years in hopes that one day I would have someone to hike with. And finally, so the duplex, I really like it as a two-person tent. I've long thought it's kind of like the best two-person tent, unless you want to go even bigger. I prefer the Dyneema composite over just like a Sil nylon, say the Gossamer Gear the 2 or something like that. I think it just does so much better in wind and rain. And yeah, so I'm carrying the tent, and Tess is carrying the trekking poles. She's carrying the stove, and she's also carrying a trowel, which I use occasionally. So that's kind of how we've divvied up gear. My overall gear list, or my pack weight, my base weight, weighs 8 pounds or 8.5 pounds, and hers weighs about 6.5 pounds. So I think mine is right around 8. But last little things here, we are actually carrying a stove, which Tess has. It's just like a BRS mini stove, and then some Walmart fuel, just because Walmart, you know, there's not a lot of places to buy fuel on the Florida Trail. But just carrying this nice little Snow Peak stove, or Snow Peak pot. I think it's like 600 or 700 milliliters. I like it a lot. I've had it a very long time, if you can tell by how black it is. So a little pot. And then to carry all my food, I'm still using an odor-proof sack. I've gone through so many of these, and I love them. You don't really have to worry about bears or anything like that on the Florida Trail, but things to concern yourself about are ants, and this just keeps the ants out. You know, other things, possibly like raccoons and stuff like that, and hanging your food up in a tree is going to be like a little playground or an obstacle course for a raccoon all night, whereas an odor-proof sack in your campsite is not that bad. There are a couple areas where you may need to hang, like in Ocala National Forest, but I love the odor-proof sack. So for my sleep system, I'm still using this just tiny little 1/8 inch pad cut to torso length. It does me fine. I like it. I oftentimes don't even think I need it. Even like tonight where it's going to be 27 degrees. So this is something I never thought I would carry again after I broke my last one like 5 years ago, or popped it. I actually found this on the Pacific Northwest Trail. I sent it home out of precedent, but again, since I'm hiking with someone else, I thought this trip should be a little bit more about comfort, so I am carrying an inflatable pillow. It's made by Wellax. I've never heard of them. I just found this pillow and I think it's nice. I know Xped makes a lot of pillows that look just like this, and I'd probably recommend Xped over these. And then I think the final thing we got here is my quilt. This is an Enlightened Equipment 30-degree quilt. And I've got the closed foot box on here. I do not like the open ones where you like cinch it down, because I feel sometimes they can let in air through the feet. But for this year, I really wanted a warmer quilt. A warmer quilt and a down quilt, which was also going to be lighter, because most of the hikes I'm doing this year are going to be like Arizona or Pacific Crest Trail, where it's just super, super dry. So anyway, the 30-degree quilt kept me super warm and toasty last night when it was below freezing, and I have just been loving it so far. So yeah, and I got the black and the blue because personally I like to be stealthy, you know, I like to be invisible. But yeah, I think that's just about it. My base weight is right around 8 pounds, and you can find my gear list in the description below. Tessa's base weight is about 6.5. Maybe in the future I can convince her to do a gear video as well if there's enough interest. So thanks for watching, guys, and good luck on your own Florida Trail through hikes. You definitely want a 30-degree or a 20-degree bag, because it can get this cold and it will stay this cold.